How y'all folks doing this afternoon? This is the cable company, and I'm alone on December 24th, 2018, and this is my NASA. I want to dedicate this to all the Rocketeers out there. Special thanks go to Bob and Tony Rebels for their contributing to the Apollo mission, and to my girl, Lisa. There she is right there. Lisa Rainer Moat. She was an organ donor, and she didn't want to be. This is the Saturn V. It's the George C. Marshall Space Flight Center, Huntsville, Alabama. The Saturn is April of 1957 through October of 1961. It's by the Saturn System Office, Aeronautics and Space Administration. It says 1961, and it says NASA. It's got the NASA on it. This is Saturn Systems Office, George C. Marshall Space Flight Center, Huntsville, Alabama. You just, let me show you that. Okay, that's the Saturn. In April of 1957, the scientific organization directed by Dr. von Braun began studies of launch vehicles having payloads of 20,000 to 40,000 pounds, orbital missions, or 6,000 to 12,000 pounds, excuse me, for escape missions. To lift payloads of this magnitude, high-thrust booster stages were essential. Accordingly, in December of 1957, the von Braun Group, then working with the Army Ballistics Missile Agency, ABMA, submitted to the Department of Defense a proposal for a National Integrated Missile and Space Vehicle Development Program. This document indicated the need for the booster of 1,500,000 pounds of thrust. To secure this amount of thrust, ABMA first considered clustering 4 380,000 pound thrust rocket E-1 engines. Then, in an earlier stage of development, this initial concept was carried further. Because of the estimated length of time required to develop the engine, however, studies continue to determine if other engines could be used in a similar application. Then in July of 1958, representatives of the Advanced Research Projects Agency's ARPA expressed interest in a cluster booster of 1,500,000 pound thrust that would use rocket engines already tested and proven reliability. On August 15, 1958, ARPA ordered 14-59 formally initiated what was to become the Saturn Project. The order authorized a research and development program for a large space vehicle booster to secure the desired thrust of 1.5 million pounds. This is figure 1, proposed configuration of a cluster booster. I'll let you look at that right there. A number of available rocket engines would be clustered. The feasibility of the design, figure 1, would be demonstrated by a full-scale strategic firing by the end of 1959. Previous studies had shown that the liquid oxygen LOX and the fuel tanks developed for the Redstone and Jupiter missiles could, with some modification, be used for the tanks of the proposed booster. It was also determined that an existing engine, the S-3D, used on both the Thor and the Jupiter missiles, figure 2, could be modified to produce an increased thrust of 188,000 pounds. Certain of the tools and the fixtures developed for the Redstone and Jupiter program could also be used with comparability, little modifications, figure 3. And thus it was possible to begin booster development with certain well-tested hardware of proven reliability. As a result, the time for design and development of some important booster components and tooling was significantly shortened, and the cost of hardware development and retooling reduced. As an immediate step toward the development of the cluster booster, a contract was awarded Rocketdyne Division of North American Aviation, September 11, 1958, to uprate the Thor Jupiter engine. After redesign, simplification, and modification, the engine could be the H1, figure 4. And then there's all those figures that they showed you. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry I'm not doing too good today. Figure 5. This is the figure 5. This is the primary concept of the Launch Complex 34. You see that? At Cape Canaveral. So that upper stage selection and development could begin, and initiated a study of Atlantic Missile Range MAR launch facilities, which could accommodate the launch vehicle. Later, December 11, 1958, ARPA Order 47-59 authorized the Army Ordnance Missile Command, AOMC, to begin design, modification, and construction of a captive test tower and facilities for use in the booster development program. AOMC was also authorized to determine the design requirements for the necessary launch facilities, figure number 5. I just showed you that. During these months, while the booster vehicle program was being formulated and expanded, development work on the H1 engine had continued. By the end of the year, December 31st, 1958, the H1 program had progressed to the first full power firing of the Rocketdyne facilities on Kanga Park, California. Currently, with the development program of the H1 engine, studies have been conducted to determine the feasibility of the building a large single-chamber rocket engine capable of producing very high thrust. On January 9, 1959, a contract was awarded to Rocketdyne of North America Aviation to design, develop, and test such an engine. Designated as the F1, the engine burning LOX and RP-1, a kerosene-type fuel, would generate approximately 1.5 million pounds of thrust. And this is figure 6 is the Saturn B, and figure 7 is the Saturn C there. And then we'll continue this on, later on. I'm not doing too good, and I'm not going to do this to you. I just, it's just, I'm alone, and I don't want nobody else to have to be alone on Christmas Eve, because the Northeast Georgia Medical Centers, they took my Lisa out, okay? They made her an organ donor when she didn't want to be, and they didn't help them, and nobody gave them rights to them. They just took over, snatched her out of here, out of Stevens County, our little hospital that bought them out. They bought it out, sold out, bought it back or something. What it fell through, just some ugliness is right there. Some ugliness, and I'm accusing them of murder, okay? And stealing and Lisa's Lorton. Even if they didn't get them, that was their intention. You go back and look at my videos, and blood on the sheets is the same blood. It had bled out her ears. Now they said her brain busted her skull. Come on, people. They got glue in her eyes, glued her face up. This is the worst. This thing. Have you ever been in there You know, and a frog, imagine that. I cried over a frog when they dissected a frog when I was a child. Because he didn't gonna eat it or nothing like that. He just killed it for nothing. And, you know, that bothered me really bad. And this, can you imagine what this is doing to me? It's ruined me. It's ruined me about my existence. It's ruined me about my life and how I feel about everything. It's ruined me. And I don't want this to happen to nobody else. That's the way the grandbaby law said, brain dead ain't dead. You can't do that. And they violated the law and they violated our Constitution. She had the right to life, man. That's just wrong what y'all done. And I hope you pay for it. You can write to me if you want to. Mitchell Arno Sr., 301 Harbor Valley Road, Toccoa, Georgia, 30577. Write to me today. Tell me what's on your mind. I'm going to tell you what's on mine. Y'all come back and see me now. Bye-bye.